Newsflash, asshole!
Is everyone hearing me okay? Because it is important I'm heard, if no other night than tonight. Because what we have for you is, it's unfortunate, but it is exactly the kind of thing that shows who these people are and the reason that, the reason that I've dedicated so much time and energy into, exposing them as much as possible. Because they're not sincere people. In fact, I'd go so far as to say they are insincere. I'd go so far as to say that they are actually terrible people. And if they were ever decent people at some point in their lives, they have long ago abandoned that and chosen to, go the way of the grift. And it's one thing to grift. But whenever you spend so much time grifting, spend so much time grifting and throwing people like, let's just say LGBTQ people under the bus and throwing them all in this category of groomer, which not only harms LGBTQ people who, by and large are just normal people who aren't groomers. It actually harms the efforts of people who go after actual groomers, right? Because you're watering down the meaning of that word. You're pointing at phantoms, and then people are looking at queer people who are just trying to live their lives rather than the people who hold institutional power and authority who actually are busted all the time for fucking, harming children and whatnot. You can look this up. This is the reason, DJ Eric Debunks, he had made a video about this once.
This is a long-ass comment from Matt, but I just want to address one part of it here. One of the things I'm seeing that's very common with a lot of these comments is people trying to dismiss actual counts of SA and CP. Like I said, I can provide for almost every day for this entire year articles where someone who is involved with a church, a school, or somebody who is close to a family member who is heterosexual, who has done things like SA when it comes to children. I can do that because it's actually happening. It's really happening. You know what's not happening? Is all of the stuff you are claiming that the gay community is doing. And you know how I know it's not happening? Because there is no articles or convictions or arrests or anything. When I ask for receipts, you guys can never provide them. If gay and trans people were such a threat, you would see article after article after article of confirmed arrest, convictions, and trials for these people. But it is not happening. And you keep saying it. It's bigotry and propaganda.
However, if you look to church leaders, police officers, Republican lawmakers, you know what I mean? It's all over the place. It's not to say that, people on the left or Democrats or whatever aren't capable of doing shit. They are. But, by and large, it's often, people who hold these archaic ideas of gender roles and patriarchy and toxic masculinity and things like that and have these violent, aggressive control impulses. That they just they actually seem to value and prize. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling now, but yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to call anybody a pedo tonight. If you guys showed up to hear me call somebody a pedo, I'm not going to do that. Words mean things, and we got to choose our words carefully, I think. So I did want to address, let's see, there's one comment way early. First commenter here, Marcos asked, wait, which community leader? I'll get to it. I'll feed you, baby bird. I got a bunch of questions like, is this an allegedly situation or did this actually happen with a full-on investigation? Well, I mean, those two things are not the only two possibilities. It is someone who is actually a member. Yes, I'll answer that. So this is not something I've extrapolated from like, oh, this is somebody that watched Geeks and Gamers 3 times or something like that. This is somebody who is in a position of authority within their actual community. Okay. And so just to dispel any of that, as far as like investigations and stuff, like, do you need an investigation to solicit someone? Like to prove that someone has solicited someone? How about this? I'll tell you this. Geeks and Gamers privated their community on Reddit because of this situation. And the person was kicked out of their position of authority based on this situation. So if that's somehow not evidence enough that this person was And keep in mind, the claim, the accusation that I'm saying is that they were soliciting from minors. First of all, and this is relevant, by the way. I'm not just making you hold on so I can do random bullshit. This is a video from Pop Counterculture, who Ed, he's a good friend of us, me, the initiative. Ed, if you're out there, how you doing, man? Hope things are going all right. You're the man. This is a video from him that is criminally underseen, considering the importance, the potency of what it reveals.
It's the type of attitude that I like. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the internet fame. We're not going to bend on our standards.
Everyone loves a contrarian, and you are a contrarian, and that's a good thing.
I don't know if I'm a contrarian. I mean, that contrarian means someone that's just going to go against the grain no matter what. And I don't necessarily know if I do that. You'll probably eventually see me on YouTube with my
Contrarian.
My interesting opinions.
Someone retweeted a comment that someone made and it said, "No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans." And that is absolutely 100% correct. I have never seen such a immature, whiny, little bitchy fan base in my life. It's ridiculous how pathetic these people are. Now look, I don't love everything Star Wars, but do I constantly whine and bitch and complain about it? No! But if I don't like it, I complain about it for like a few days, and then I just move on with my fucking life. I don't understand this need to continue to bitch and whine and moan. Please, just move on with your life. We just don't care, and we don't take you seriously. You're just a bunch of like annoying little children that if you don't get your way, you just crawl into the floor and you whine and you cry and you piss and you moan. Like, anybody, what I get suspicious about is if you get on social media and start claiming moral superiority and you start acting outraged at the smallest joke or the smallest comment or anything like that, if you start getting like offended and outraged by shit like that, then, you know, red flags go up for me that you got some shit to hide. Like, I don't get offended by shit. I don't know how people are so, like, easily offended these days.
Well, he doesn't get offended by shit, guys, apparently, which is a surprise. I would have not ever thought that was his position on being offended by shit.
And really they're not. They're acting offended because it gets you traction on social media, and it gets you retweets, and it gets you likes, and it gets you attention, and it makes you seem like you're just this really upstanding person. Like, fuck off with that. People need to stop acting outraged and stop being shocked by Hollywood being full of douchebags. They've always been like that. This is not breaking news. I get it. There are certain people that are going to just throw blanket claims out there to try to get attention.
Upon the release of The Last Jedi, Jeremy Griggs released a glowing review. It has since been taken down. This is the only surviving clip.
I love The Last Jedi, and I think it did a damn good job for being what it needed to be for Star Wars.
It's not that hard to figure out. I like The Last Jedi. I think I've made like 3 fucking reviews on it, and I'm still trying to figure out where I stand on this movie. But I'm a mess when it comes to this movie because I just can't figure out how I ultimately feel. But as I'm sitting here right now, I like The Last Jedi.
As the backlash over The Last Jedi grew, channels like Nerdrotic and Doomcock saw an opportunity to capitalize, fanning the flames of geek rage. And after years of putting in hard work into a channel that rarely fostered more than a couple hundred views.
I want you guys to really look at that, man. He goes from, look, you got, you know, every once in a while he get like maybe 2,000, but most of the time you're 420, 139. Oh, there's almost a 10K. You know what I mean? But generally, on average, a couple hundred views, yeah. And then suddenly, he talks about a specific thing in a specific way after, you know, having said that he liked and loved the film. And suddenly, things change for Jeremy.
Of putting in hard work into a channel that rarely fostered more than a couple hundred views, Jeremy couldn't resist.
sound like a dick, but I just don't care. I mean, there's 400 people watching this stream. If one of them knows my name now that didn't know it before, it's a success for me. At the end of the day, I have tried to build Geeks and Gamers by doing it the structured way, the methodical way,
It's actually not true. It's actually Magic the Gathering that got attention on him the first time. Him being ousted from Magic the Gathering, I believe, for harassing a cosplayer or woman player or something like that. I don't remember the details. It's been a long time since I've given a shit about the quartering. It's been a long time since anybody really gave a shit about the quarter. But yeah.
think it out, prep it, take notes, think about everything you're going to say, and it fucking failed miserably on me. The day that I started doing what I'm doing right now, which is what you're, having a problem with, is the day that I started becoming successful.
Because that's fine. I mean, it's what the internet does. I've done it. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing per se. I mean, we've all taken things out of context.
Okay, fine. You want to make a video about that and say, I
Who's
think
that
that's a
fucking
shitty
guy?
thing to say, but why did it turn into like a year almost of nonstop videos and
because he
articles
was using
and
the
tweets
algorithm,
about
like
it?
he knows the algorithm was geared towards making those kind of videos, so he did it.
So you do admit that Geeks and Gamers uses the algorithms and how it favors sensationalism and outrage. So you're making outrage content, right?
What is YouTube about getting views? A lot of people want to get views. Like if your algorithm is pushing one thing, you're gonna make more videos on that thing.
Brie Larson. Brie Larson.
I don't understand this need to continue to bitch and whine and moan.
Brie Larson. With Brie Larson. Brie Larson. With Brie Larson.
I remember when Ed was editing this video and he told me, he said, dude, I'll just keep hearing Brie Larson repeated in my head all the time now. And I'm like, why? I'm wondering why was that? What's the deal with that? And then I watched the video and I'm like, oh, I get it.
But if I don't like it, I complain about it for like a few days, and then I just move on with my fucking life.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop.
What I get suspicious about is if you get on social media and you start acting outraged at the smallest joke, if you start getting like offended and outraged by shit like that, red flags go up for me that you got some shit to hide. Like, I don't get offended by shit.
Hey, I was liking it a lot, and then major red flag, which was right here. It's like Bo Peep, Ray Skywalker. You got Peach just taking charge. Stands up.
Like, I don't get offended
right
by
there.
shit.
Like, right at that moment right there, when I saw that, I was thinking Bo Peep from Toy Story 4, Ray Skywalker.
Let's see. Wait. Oh, we forgot to play Chud Bingo, guys.
Ooh, that's a bingo. Bingo! I'm just gonna come as hard as I can.
You guys got to remind me that shit. If I'm not playing Chud Bingo when we're watching a Chud video, you gotta let me know. Okay, let's see if we can spot what he's done so far, and just in this compilation, I suppose. All right, factual error. I'm relatively confident that there's some of those. Racism, sexism, transphobe. There's definitely been some sexism. Yes. Did you guys see any of the like the crying Hillary voter or whatever? I don't think he specifically mentioned Kathleen Kennedy yet, but she's in the background of all of this. Brie Larson. Yeah. Still banging on about The Last Jedi. Yep. Let's see. Dead Eyes. Absolutely. He does have actually a second channel where he's got fashy politics. He's got another channel where he specifically talks about, like, I've saw videos listed where he's like, pro January 6th insurrection. All right, so onward with this video. Just want to get to the part really where it gets to. Here we go. You guys know what I'm getting to.
trends, although you literally say
I just
go to what's
created
trending before I make a video. Something I don't do.
I just created a One Piece discussion right now. I just created one for the past 5 minutes.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
I would have liked.
Did we just talk about One Piece for 5 minutes? Yes or no?
We didn't.
Yes,
One
we
Piece
did.
was used, but we didn't talk about it.
No.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it. Don't act like that's not what we do.
I don't build a narrative. I
You
give
are an
my
absolute
opinion.
fucking.
You are hard.
What we do. You've made the same fucking video on the same topic at least 7 times a week, Ryan.
You know, we can speculate on what it was that made Jeremy decide to just be that candid on a live stream.
And you're gonna act like we don't do that.
I talk about I talk about
says one fucking thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do. We don't do that.
Brie Larson.
And then it goes on to cover as, you know, piss pickle baby brain, as I like to call him, because his brain is, you know, it's a baby brain and it's pickled in piss. Should be self-explanatory, but I like to explain anyway. And then let's see, just a couple more quick things. And the reason we're looking at this, because look, just to be clear, Jeremy Griggs wasn't accused or didn't do anything as far as I know. You know what I mean? But like, this is someone who was in their community, and just to give a little more information, it was one of their community moderators, someone in a position of authority, as it always is, guys. It just like almost always is. You have to be in a position of authority to actually groom a child, typically, because, you know, just some random person on the street isn't going to have access to a child to groom them. All right. Like a drag queen is not going to fucking have, right? Like some trans person, you know, over there in the grocery store, she's over there. She's going to groom a child. No, it's someone like a church leader or a cop or, you know, someone that people blindly trust, which is a good reason not to just blindly trust positions of authority, you know. But the reason that we're talking about Jeremy Griggs is because these, you know, the rot typically starts at the head. You know what I mean? And I suppose that Ryan Kennel would kind of be like a smaller second head, like a vestigial head that kind of grows off of Jeremy's fucking shoulder or something. So Ryan Kennel, I'll throw him in there too, because fuck it. He's often doing videos, you know, on his own on Geeks and Gamers. So yeah, fuck him too. Look, I wouldn't be surprised that either one of those guys are fucking, you know, monsters. Like as far as like, you know, predators. I really wouldn't. I'm not accusing them of that, but like they have made these types of claims so much. They have thrown this word around so much that like, you know, it's just, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Couple more minutes, we'll get there. This is a moment from, if you showed up to the stream before the stream started, you saw this, but it's a short that I had uploaded from a debate that I had with, it was actually my first debate, or not first official debate, right? And oddly, my first 2 debates were about Geeks and Gamers, so that was weird. But this guy actually emailed me and was very courteous and respectful and stuff, and that's, you know, basically the reason I don't debate, because I never get that. You know what I mean? But like, and hopefully he's doing all right out there. I know he disagrees with everything that I say about his community and whatnot, but he's wrong. Nonetheless, he was a nice guy, and this moment really stood out to me. Disavowed the fandom menace, but he's still in the same circle of people. They're still all on Friday Night Tights together. He's still saying the same stuff. So what is really the practical purpose of disavowing the fandom menace if like nothing is actually changing about what he's doing?
Oh, the reason that he gives is that apparently he saw too much like extremism within like the fandom menace among like things that fans were saying, and he didn't want to be like held responsible for any of that. He said, I'll be responsible for Geeks and Gamers, but not that. I
don't know. I'm more of the mind that if I was part of something that I was like suddenly like, wow, this is getting kind of you know, more hostile and harmful than I really care for, rather than just go, I don't claim this label anymore. I would completely disconnect from the people that are associated with that label, because otherwise it would just seem kind of hollow. Yeah, so that was one of the first things that he made sure to say whenever we got on the stream was, you know, he's like, just, you know, so you know, he doesn't claim the fandom menace label anymore, you know, which was news to me. You know, and I'm like, oh, really? What's the deal with that? And it's because he saw there's so much extremism in the fandom menace audience, just extremism. And it's like,
well, he cultivated this audience. You know what I mean? Like I know this from like this is something I could not have known if I wasn't a YouTuber with a, you know, I mean, yeah, I've got less than 7,000 subs, but it's enough to have cultivated a little community. And I know for a fact that my content and the things that I say in my content are directly responsible for the type of community that I've cultivated. That's why generally my community is pretty fucking chill, and there's a lot of cool ass people in it. You know, and if anybody were to be threatening people, I've called out people in chat. You guys have seen me do it, who are making like even just like little slight references to something bad happening to some chud or what. I'm like, hey, let's not fucking do that. We're not going to do that because that's just not cool. And people are generally respected in our community. And my, you know, this is of course now my community is together with Organized Chaos and Turf Nations in our Discord and whatnot. And we don't really have any problems because we moderate it well. We're considerate about who joins our community. We aren't just doing it to grow the numbers. We're like, we want a strong community of like, you know, actual fans, so to speak. So I know for a fact that how you talk about things in your content is a direct causal factor in what kind of community you get. And so whenever Jeremy Griggs is like, oh, I saw so much extremism in the audience, it's like, well, you and several other dudes are responsible for that. So then for him to go, I'm washing my hands of this label, this fandom menace label, because there's just so much extremism. Well, it doesn't change the fact that he's responsible, but it does show what kind of person he is. Aside from being a right-wing fucking piece of shit and a grifter, he is also a coward, a moral coward who can't take responsibility for, you know, his actions and the community that he cultivated. Of course, it's not surprising. Generally, conservatives are cowards, moral cowards. Generally. Not all of them, but generally. Yes, that's true. The Geeks and Gamers subreddit was taken down, or at least privated, because the community leader was soliciting minors. Right. And so we can look at that now. I just want to do a little bit of prefacing with some stuff there to show you that, like, this is not something that could never have been foreseen, right? All right. So over on Saltier Than Crate, Geeks and Gamers community has gone private after their main moderator was banned for sexualizing minors. So this says, this is a report that someone sent to Reddit. If anybody's familiar with Reddit, you know that this is it's like not common to get banned from Reddit. You kind of have to try at it. You kind of have to be a real dedicated piece of shit. So we have reviewed your report. Thanks for submitting a report for the Reddit admin team. After investigating, we found that the account, the Androdol, which is the name of the person on Reddit, violated Reddit's content policy and have taken the following actions. The user was permanently banned and reported content was moved. If you see any other rule violations or continue to have problems, blah, blah, blah. And then down here, report details, report reason, sexualization of minors. Yikes. Yikeroonies, guys. And we would go look at that, but, you know, clearly we can't get there. Yeah. For some reason, I don't think they're going to use this one to play the I've been canceled game. Something tells me that they're not going to talk about this one. I don't know. Something tells me. That's one of the reasons I felt it was important to talk about it, because they're definitely going to do what they can to either not talk about it and or, you know, try to like sweep it under the rug while downplaying it or accusing this person of being some kind of leftist mole or something, shit like that. I doubt it. I doubt it, Philip. Seriously doubt it. You know, that's because Geeks and Gamers is, you know, they're going to cover for this sexual predator, because Geeks and Gamers covers for sexual predators. And I can say that with confidence because, you know, Jeremy Griggs has said that he's still a fan of like Andrew Tate. You know, he thinks Andrew Tate has been unfairly treated. Geeks and Gamers, you know, they're cool with sexual predation until they get caught. That's the problem for them right here. It's like, oh, we got caught. And so because they're cool with it, honestly, I have to assume that it's very possible that Jeremy Griggs and Ryan Kennel are also sexual predators. I have to assume that. You know, and what I mean by that is I would not allow my kids or any kids I was responsible for anywhere near those guys, because, you know, they're not the ones that have been caught. I have to assume that they're cool enough with it that they might do it too. You know, I don't want to take that risk. That really fucks kids up. Like, that is one of the most atrocious things that one can do, as we all know, most people know. And morally, and then just like the practical effect of it is that it really causes psychic damage that is difficult to operate with in life. Not impossible to heal from and to, you know, work on that trauma, but it is difficult, and it's you know, not easy for anybody, and often it leads to a very tragic life for when a kid is preyed upon like that. So yeah, it's really kind of fucked up that Jeremy Griggs and Ryan Kennel of Geeks and Gamers would cover for that kind of thing and have someone in position of authority that does that. And then also, you know, I mean, we can extend this to Nerdrotic too. Nerdrotic and Jeremy are basically like left and right hand of the Fandom Menace shit, right? Like, they, you know, are more or less make the same content in a lot of ways. Well, because, you know, Andrew Tate has this whole The Matrix thing. So like, basically, if anybody that says anything negative about Andrew Tate, they're just part of the Matrix, and the Matrix is this bad thing that controls people, and you can't let it control you. It's you know, it's cult fucking mentality is what it is. But speaking of Nerdrotic, I figure we should check this out.
700,000 moronic sheep who keep watching my channel. Want to hear me say Star Wars is dead for the 1 millionth time? Want to hear me say Hollywood is woke for the 2 millionth time? Want to watch me post the exact same video of pure repetitive brain rot over and over again? Then just repeat the buzzwords, give me your money, and I'll convince you we're the good guys.
Mythaddict.com.
Another banger from the ripoff verse. Can't necessarily condone every bit of their content. I feel like they were doing a little bit of homophobia for humor's sake in one of their videos, and you know, I'm not a fan of that really. But at the same time, you know, they've been pretty effective with their puppetry, so you know, I'm not giving them a pass, but you know, gotta criticize at the same time as I praise, I suppose. Yeah, have you not seen the have you not seen the other thing? Anyways, what else we got here? Oh, I had another one here. So this is interesting, and I think it does speak to more to what kind of person Jeremy Griggs really is. And then we watched this yesterday on the Initiative. It's a short from a channel called Edgier Than Thou. It's also pretty indicative of what kind of guy he is, I think.
Just want to show you what I consider to be the all-time greatest clip from the YouTube channel Geeks and Gamers. And I cannot stress enough, this is not edited. From the visuals to the audio, this is 100% Jeremy's own work, and it is, quite frankly, a masterpiece.
Maybe if Elon Musk was to ever buy Disney or Star Wars and cleans house just like he did with Twitter, then we can start having a conversation of Star Wars getting back on track. But the reality of it is under the current Lucasfilm leadership, we would never get anything remotely close to this. And that just shows you the inherent problem with Star Wars as it is.
Like, one, because they continue to pretend like they care about just telling a good story or quality writing, and then they come out and tell you this is actually what they care about. But also, dude, there's a website for you if that's what you're looking for. Rise of Skywalker was bad, and it also didn't have any sexy AI Rey. Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's another thing. They praise Elon. Elon is he's been accused of some predation as well, not on a minor, I don't believe, but yeah. So let's look at what Jeremy's talking about as being like this. Hey, Jeremy Griggs, Star Wars is for children, and you want it to look like this.
You know, it's hard for people to realize, and I'm not supposed to say this, and I wasn't supposed to say it then, but you know, it's a film for 12-year-olds.
Hey, Jeremy Griggs, are you sure you're not the groomer? I'm wondering now. Like, the more I look at this, the more I think about this, honestly, kind of just to the point where I'm waiting for a fucking, you know, bombshell to drop in the news any day now. You know, once again, all the times that they've called people groomers and shit like that. And then the content that they make is not age restricted, okay? It's not age restricted. It is open to just any kids that want to watch it. And then you get things like Alex Jones on there twice. You get Gavin McGinnis, the fucking, founder of the Proud Boys, taking his dick out on stream.
It's already started. Oh my God,
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry about this. Oh my God.
Where kids can see it. You know what I mean? And the types of things they talk about. And sincerely, like, if they think that any reference to, queer people at all is tantamount to grooming, right? Then they shouldn't be talking about queer people even to speak against them, right? If their channel isn't age restricted like it should be, right?
Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wasn't allowed to put that in. All of these things he...
Yeah, me either, man. Me either. I would say that we should just do everything we can to keep children away from Geeks and Gamers. And that includes their content, for sure. That's true. That's true. People grow out of it. And then the people that don't, man, that's the thing. The people that don't grow out of that content, that like become like 35-year-old dudes that are like still into that shit, those people are, I just got a strong sense that they're more likely to be the people that are preying on people, right? Because they're not like healthy-minded adults. See what I'm saying? They're like creating a fucking predator fucking farm over there, and then also fields for the predators to graze in. Yikes. Do not forget the fact that don't let your kids around Geeks and Gamers is what I'm saying, because it's very likely, based on statistical probability, based on the fact that they have covered up and defended and even hero worshipped someone like Andrew Tate, who's been credibly accused and charged with sex trafficking, and including, I don't remember whatever happened to this. I don't know if these charges are ever going to come up or what, but whenever they were arrested, Tate and his brother, there was reports in the arrest report that the cops had also found evidence of underage trafficking, which would make, Andrew Tate, so the fact that Jeremy Griggs, I assume Ryan Kennel too, he's a big piece of shit, that they're just like full throating that guy. There's a good chance that those guys are also predators. Okay, they're definitely predators in the sense that they prey on young people, kids on YouTube with their fashy politics and their bigotry. Whether or not they are sexual predators of children, I have no evidence of that. But it just seems kind of likely that they are sexual predators of children, in my opinion, based on no evidence. So this claim isn't legally actionable. Also, fuck those guys. Hey, if you're not subscribed, you should be, man. This is the channel. If you're someone who's tired of these fucking people, and you're tired of them getting away with essentially, metaphorically, not literally, murder, that's what we do, man. Well, it's half of what we do. Try to balance it out with positive content. Not even just positive, but like healthy engagement of content. So I'll talk about comic books, talk about movies, talk about that stuff. And then we also talk about dispelling the bullshit that come from channels like Geeks and Gamers. Here at AF, we work hard to make sure we've got the facts to back up every accusation of chuddery, that we're entertaining every time we spotlight some fascistic fuck, film fandom flimflamer, culture vulture, Star Wars swindler, or comics con man. And by we, I mean me. And while I'm certainly not doing it for money, I do need to buy a new PC soon for continued editing and streaming. That's why I want to express my deep gratitude for my support on Patreon, from dopest members like William, Michael, and Smirking Gun. That's not to say that the members at the chillest and basest tiers are any less appreciated. But even if you can't swing it, you can follow me for free on Patreon and still get some exclusive content and opportunities to chat directly with me. YouTube makes us give every ounce of ourselves. Sometimes it feels like we're being milked dry. Support at any level is hits.